Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Auto Thoughts and the Clowns. You are listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
I'm your other host, Audrey.
And it's more, there's new guys. We met a lot of new guys this week on Transformers Earthspark.
We sure did. We also met Plot.
Yeah, there's some plot starting to happen. It's chugging along in the background here. All the shenanigans are kind of distracting you from. Then you look behind the shenanigans, you're like, oh, what the fuck is going on over there? Damn. Okay.
Yeah. We watched episodes 7 and 8 this week of Earthspark.
Friends and Family and Decoy.
So Friends and Family starts off with the worst day in every young person's life.
It's the first day at a new school. You don't know anybody, and nobody knows you, and it's all a nightmare. And because of
your psychically linked siblings can't come with you.
Yeah, and that is causing some issues. They're feeling all the bad emotions that Robbie and Mo are, and they can't understand what's they're like, oh God, what do I feel? It's so bad. What is a mean girl, and why am I scared of them? That
is from Thrash specifically.
Yes.
What's a mean girl? I'm suddenly really worried about meeting one.
And Bumblebee is trying. They're doing some training with Bumblebee, but they are not in any fucking capacity to do that right now.
Twitch keeps literally glitching out almost. Yeah. One of her rotors is flopping sideways.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going well for her in particular. And Thrash isn't doing well either, but he has a little bit more together than Twitch does.
Yeah, Twitch is having some real problems, and those problems only intensify when Bumblebee kind of offhandedly goes, oh yeah, they're going to a new school, they're probably going to make some new friends, and this throws the Terrans into a fucking panic, because they're like, oh no.
It's so funny because they're just dealing with these feelings, and he's like, no, you know what, I get it, you must be really worried about Mo and Robbie going to a new school and making friends without you. And they were like, what? Friends without us?
He's like, oh, you hadn't thought about that until now. Oh no.
Yeah, he's like, you were having an entirely different, they're like, we were just feeling things, we didn't know what we were feeling, but now, no, that's coming from us. Now the distress is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, and he's like, well, oh well.
He's such a good teacher in these episodes.
Yeah, he's getting better at it, certainly, from where he was. He's getting the hang of it,
that was sarcasm on my part.
No.
I think he does a particularly bad job of teaching in these episodes, actually.
Well, to be fair, one of them he's on vacation.
One of them he abandons them.
Yeah, on vacation. He takes PTO. He has a substitute.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
Yeah, but eventually, with assistance from Dot, Mo and Robbie are able to explain, hey, it's fine. It's, we are nervous because it's the first day of school. You can't come with us. But don't worry, we're not going anywhere. We'll see you afterwards, but this is just sort of human stuff, and we have to be able to do human stuff still. And you are robots in disguise. Yeah.
Oh, and also Alex almost gets flattened by Thrash, but thankfully he only flattens the homemade snickerdoodles that he made for the first day lunches.
Tragic casualty.
Tragic. So yeah, the kids go off, and the Terrans continue to have some problems. Can we talk about their drama teacher's hideous haircut?
Can we talk about their drama teachers and entire deal.
Yeah, by the way, did he sound familiar to you at all?
Not that I noticed.
Well, he should have, because he's voiced by Darren Norris, aka Knockout.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Okay, fair
Makes
enough.
sense. Yeah, so his name is Mr. Smelt, which, quite a name. How you gonna be named the past tense of smell, etc., etc.?
His, like, leadership is kind of like the same as the Urks from Invader Zim.
Yeah.
It's so the hierarchy in the class is based on name and how well you sing.
Yeah, there's a lot. Okay. So this is the only class we see them in. It's drama class.
Yeah, my understanding is because this is probably like a K through 6, I would guess.
It does. I did spot this is a charter school.
A charter, or sorry, it probably.
Yeah, so it's probably like K through 6, and it's
or rather, I would say like K through 8. That's what I meant. Is that it's probably, and specifically, this isn't Mo's class. I would guess that this is just their teacher. I don't think they go to different teachers. I think they just get this one.
Wow, that's a really bad role for the whole year.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Because like that's like how it works in elementary school.
Yeah. So we also meet some other kids. There's Misha and Bruno. They aren't important. Don't worry about it.
Hey, you don't know that.
They aren't important right now.
Yeah.
Also, I looked at their wiki pages. They only appear in this episode.
Oh, well.
So,
all right.
As I
suspected, whatever.
Not important. There's a
Misha
feeling I get watching this episode where I suspect that the school will not be popping up much as a setting.
Yeah. I think Mo and Robbie are going to be spending a lot more time in mortal danger, from what I know about this. I do want to say before they go in, Robbie, I think this is actually a really sweet moment from him. Tries to give Mo advice to like smooth her entry into a new school, and she's like, you know, it'll be fine. We're cool. Like, he's just like, just don't try too hard. Like, mean kids can smell desperation.
Yeah.
Like, you know, be yourself and be fine. But like, don't just like be cool and chill, and that'll work. And like, and she's like, that's fine. We are cool. And Robbie's like, uh-huh.
Sure.
But yeah, Misha's the previously mentioned mean girl.
Yes. And does a fucking trick on Mo, just like does a fucking prank to make her switch seats, and then Smelt gets mad at her. I
don't think this was a prank, to be fair to Misha.
I think know.
She just genuinely wanted to sit next to Bruno.
It seemed malicious.
I don't think it was because she was pissed that they got caught.
True. She did look pretty mad.
Yeah, she was mad. What she was mad about was that they got caught, not that and like, why would she be mad about that if that's the point of the prank? I think she genuinely just wanted to sit next to Bruno. Because the hierarchy of this class is separated by name.
By the way, speaking of names, when he's calling a roll, Smelt says that Mo Melto is a good name for a TV, or Mo Malto, that's a good name for a TV character.
Yeah, he's literally busy working on his manuscript. It's this entire episode.
He's got a lot going on. He's got his manuscript. He's got he's got Tinder open. He's got a lot happening. He's trying to get these damn. Now, I will say, I think this is more than K through 8, because he mentions those damn seniors and their cars.
That's true. It might be like the whole system, the whole.
I mean, it is
K through 12.
It's a small town. We know that Witwiki is a pretty small town, so it's very possible.
But it's also a charter school, so presumably it serves like the entire area, not just Witwiki.
So we cut back to the Terrans, and they're not doing great. They are not really able to focus on Bumblebee's recon lessons where he's trying to teach them to build cairns to mark their pathway or whatever.
No, so he's trying to teach them stealth.
Oh.
And that's not working.
No.
Because they're super distracting. And he's like, okay, let's try recon instead. Fuck this.
There's a moment where Thrash just yells, God, our teacher is a jerk. And Broly's like,
yes.
What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah, so Thrash and Twitch, who are feeling everything that Mo and Robbie are feeling, it's like, God, our teacher's a jerk.
He's like, what'd you call me?
And Thrash is like, no, Robbie, Mo's teacher.
I was like, oh, okay. And so he's like, yeah, let's do a recon lesson at the school. And Bumblebee brings them out to sort of hang out near the school, which turns out to not be the greatest idea, we'll say.
Now, here's an interesting thing. This scene brings up a lot of questions about how the psychic connection works.
Mm-hmm.
Because we decided last time, if you'll remember, that we didn't think it was a 4-way connection.
That I think this episode reinforces that. I don't think there's any bleed out because like Twitch is feeling Robbie emotions and Thrash is feeling Mo.
But
emotions.
Thrash is the one that makes Robbie shout. Thrash is the one that makes Robbie shout. I'll show you make believe.
Oh.
And Twitch is the one that makes Mo go all crazy.
Well, then now I'm not sure anymore. Who knows?
Yeah. And even they mention, so we get this scene where like Thrash and Twitch are like right outside the window and listening to them. And, after everything, so like Misha's already on a bad foot with Mo because basically she got caught and separated from Bruno. But then they rearrange the desks so that they're in groups of 4, so it doesn't really matter anyway. And they're like grilling them, and Mo and Robbie's like, yeah, we already made some friends, and Misha's like, oh well, what friends have you made? Who are their names? You probably know them. Wiki's super small. And, they're making excuses or whatever to not mention Thrash and Twitch, and Misha just goes, oh, let me guess. They're imaginary. And outside the window you see Thrash go, I'll show her, and the sentence is finished by Robbie standing up and going, imaginary.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's some weird stuff happening in this episode with regards to the Terrans, so there might be some stuff, or maybe the connection is strengthening, who knows.
Yeah. What is interesting, and so the other thing that happens is like Twitch is still glitching out. Like
she literally just starts she turns into drone mode and just starts spinning around.
Yeah, which in turn makes Mo lose control of her body and starts like spinning around in the room.
And then Thrash grabs onto Twitch, and then Robbie starts spinning because Thrash is spinning.
Yeah. Now, what is interesting is that they mention that this isn't the way the link is supposed to work. But they don't talk about how this isn't the way that it's supposed to work. So I'm still unclear about whether it's a 2-way connection or a 4-way connection here.
Yeah, it's confounding, I will say.
They make it through to school day.
Yeah, they do. Honestly, it's really funny because like Misha and Bruno actually think that the spinning thing was pretty cool because it made Smelt really mad.
Yeah, he was mad about being shown up in his own class.
He's got weird priorities. So they're like, hey, you want to come to a pool party later? And Mo and Robbie are kind of jazzed. The cool kids invited them to a pool party. Meanwhile,
all those hot pool parties in Wiki, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, in fucking rural Pennsylvania. Meanwhile, Twitch just leaves. She just goes. She just walks away. And
if it sucks, hit the bricks.
Yeah, but like not in a way it's like she's fed up with it. She just literally just stops what she's doing and just turns and leaves, and Thrash is like,
It's like a completely mindless, I just had a thought. Actually, fuck this.
Yeah, and so then Thrash leaves to follow her, and then Bumblebee turns around and goes, uh-oh. Where'd they go?
He's not that concerned about it. He's like, I guess I'm just gonna go back home. They're fine, I'm sure.
Because I forgot. Yeah, so there's a bit here between.
Oh right, yeah.
Between the Spinneroony and them coming back and being invited to the pool party, where they go outside because they know that it's Twitch and Thrash are right outside. So they go outside and kind of. Robbie is pretty mad at them because he thinks that they have embarrassed him in front of the cool kids, and is like, you guys gotta let us do the human stuff. You can't be here at school. You should just go home. And Mo restates it in a bit more of a gentler way. She's like, what Robbie means is.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they really are super not wrong. This is also an issue in the next episode where there are very bad opinions posited as being correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the kids. How do the kids go home after that, right?
Yeah, the school day ends and they go home.
Yeah.
Bumblebee leaves as well. And then because he distracts Smelt to let them talk to this is how we get those damn seniors with those sports cars he has parked improperly, and the principal literally sprints after him to catch him. You hear Smelt go, "Get him, Principal Dan," as he just runs. Everyone ends up home, and Robbie and Mo are like, hey, where are Twitch and Thrash? And Bumblebee's like, I don't know. I assumed they were with you.
You assumed incorrect.
And everyone's like, uh-oh. And then we cut to Thrash.
Well, they can't. The big thing is not only do they not know where they are, they can't feel them.
Yeah, so I guess the link has it could be a distance thing. It could also be other reasons that we'll get to. But yeah, Twitch is just wandering through the woods, and Thrash is following her, and he's getting pretty tired. There's a raccoon, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, back with Bumblebee. This is like a lot of the rest of this episode for Twitch and Thrash is them just wandering mindlessly, particularly Twitch and Thrash following her.
Can we talk about the fucked up story Bumblebee tells the kids?
Yes, in a moment, because I want to talk about one other thing before that that we get to before that. But trust me, that is on my list. Trust me, that is on my list. So basically, back with Bumblebee and the kids, Robbie's like, okay, well, we don't know where they are. We can't feel them, but we last saw them at the school, so let's go back to the school. And Bumblebee's like. So they all get into Bumblebee and they go back to the school, and Bumblebee's like, oh, perfect. I can finally try to teach the scouting lesson I was teaching before that Twitch and Thrash wouldn't bother listening to these two human kids. And he's like, all right, keep your eyes open, observe everything. And Robbie just points down and he's like, oh, you like those giant footsteps that belong to Twitch and Thrash?
Well, it's funny because one of the footsteps from Thrash, because Twitch hovered away. One of them is a footprint, and one of them is a bike wheel because his fucking feet glitched, so that one of his bike wheels is deployed.
Well, he was trying to transform fully so he could go after her because she was so fast in drone mode. Mm-hmm. But because of his own messed up emotions, he couldn't complete it, so he only got one leg down. The thing I do want to mention here is that, is no one concerned about the fact that they've left giant robot footprints in the ground?
It's Woodwookie. They get that shit all the time.
I don't think they do. Hey! No, I don't think they do.
Ghost is here. There's big boys walking around all the damn time.
Yeah.
You don't think people walk out of their front door and go, oh, Optimus must have been by here. Look at this.
So they are able to very easily track Thrash through the forest, and as they go to catch up with them, this is where Bumblebee tells his very fucked up story.
So he begins to theorize that the reason that they've been acting, the Terrans have been acting so weird, and the reason that Mo and Robbie have this kind of weird, almost zombie-like reading from the emotion gloves. It's they might be low on energon. If you have energon deprivation, you start acting funny, your brain gets weird, all that stuff. And he's like, yeah,
he's typing symptoms into WebMD.
one time during the war, Soundwave, he was suffering from energon deprivation. He tried to deploy a cassette, and it just inside his chest, and he trails off once he sees the look of horror on Mo and Robbie's face. And
he says the word explode.
Yeah, it exploded.
Yeah, he said it explodes inside his chest. He says, I watched Soundwave accidentally crush his kid like a grape in his own rib cage. It was hilarious.
And then the kid's like horrified. He's like, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. All right, this is important. Who was it? Who do we theorize? Who is it?
Rat-Bat.
Yeah. In that case, he probably was. If Rat-Bat's origin is like IDW Rat-Bat, he's fine with that.
Really, at this point, I
what
guess
if it was Rumble,
could have been Rumble.
That would be so
That would
fucked
explain
up.
why Frenzy's here, not Rumble.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, so
the only other choice would be, like, Buzzsaw.
Yeah, one of the, like, ones that never fucking shows up, like Buzzsaw or Overkill.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of, or how about Beast Box? You like Beast Box?
Maybe it was Rumble. That would be grim. Jesus.
Yeah, that would be fucked up.
I'm so sad now that we know that there is no canon Rumble yet.
I hope it was Rat-Bat, because that would be really
but
funny.
I do. In my heart of hearts, I believe it's Rat-Bat.
They climb this big mountain, and they eventually find Thrash sort of passed out against this tree.
Thrash looks like shit. They're like, Thrash, are you okay? And Thrash is like,
oh.
Twitch is dead, Bella Lugosi is dead, and me, I also feel not so good.
Like, oh, hey guys. Ooh, yeah, I'm not doing great. Bumblebee scans him. He's like, yikes, your energon levels are fucking low, man. Have a pick-me-up. He gives him an energon patch.
And he's like, there you go, now you'll feel better. And Thrash, like, kind of groans and then, like, dies again.
And Bumblebee's like, that shouldn't happen. Uh-oh.
Bumblebee's like, great.
That's cool. I don't know what's happening. Then they find Twitch shooting the ground. Just randomly. Seemingly. And she's entirely just in some kind of weird zombie trance. And you can tell because she points her gun at Robbie and Mo.
Yeah.
And who's ready for the kids to fall down another big hole?
I'm telling you, mortal danger. They land. Luckily, we know that Bumblebee must be so soft and squishy.
He's cuddly.
Because he cushions their fall. These kids have died.
I always love when a Transformer catches a human from falling from a great distance. It happened all the time in G1. And you're just like, they should be a smear. They should be...
that's some Gwen Stacy off a bridge.
They should be splattered across. They should be splattered across Bumblebee's fucking windshield right now.
Yeah, man, I watch Invincible. I know what realistic superhero stories look like. Come on now.
Yeah, it's messy. But yeah, they fall in another secret magical cave. There's, and Twitch and Thrash appear to be dead.
We get an almost like Disney Renaissance moment of animation here.
I was
this is like startlingly gorgeous, actually.
So Bumblebee's like, I better go look for help, because he's like, oh, these kids are like dead for sure.
He's like, I need to go find an exit for us.
Because he scans Thrash and he's like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. I gave him energon patches. Energon levels have not changed, but he's gotten worse. Yeah,
he's like, I need to go find an exit, and Mo's like, but they're gonna be okay, right? And Bumblebee's like, I need to go find an exit.
Yeah, it's like, I gotta go.
And yeah, so this moment here is like their eyes are fully offline, like they look dead. And they're lying in a puddle of water, and from the ceiling of this cave, a drop of water lands on Twitch's face, and the animation of this drop of water landing on her face and rolling down it is like one of the most beautiful pieces of animation I've seen on television. It is crazy gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really good. And so they just start splashing this water on the Terrans.
Yeah. she starts waking up a bit, and Mo's like, oh my god, she's an electric vehicle. She doesn't need gasoline.
Yeah.
She needs alternative energy sources.
So they figure out that the Terrans don't actually need Energon because they're not from Cybertron, they're from Earth. What they do need, I don't know. Whatever this shit is, I guess. This green water. They need Baja Blast. They run on the dew.
They do notice before they leave the cave, some cave markings that Bumblebee found.
Yeah, more old Cybertronian.
Which he just like doesn't do anything about. But as they leave, Thrash describes it best when he says, "Cave water is life juice."
Yep. And they're fine. There's no effects from seeing their siblings basically die. They'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And they have, they have a little talk, because earlier on they talked to Bumblebee, and they were, both of them were feeling pretty bummed about what they said to Thrash and Twitch at the school, and they're like, yeah, friends or whatever, but family's different. And Bumblebee's like, you should have told them that, huh? Maybe you should tell them. Maybe you should say that to them, so they can hear it. Just a thought. Just a little nugget of wisdom from your old Uncle Bumblebee.
Uncle B.
He is Uncle B, is the thing. And he, in the next episode, he goes off to get some cigs and doesn't come back.
That's right. No, to be fair to him, he does come back because he thought that the gay dads that have talked about wanting kids for forever would be able to watch the kids that he left them with, but no.
But they were fighting, and
they were too busy getting divorced again.
Yeah, they were both fighting emotionally and also fighting a cat, a bird, and a loud small child. And losing, by the way.
and a moody teenager.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about Deco. Deco is so good. So they have a little, they have a little talk with the Terrans. It's all good. There's like, yeah, school is not Cybertronian stuff, and B is not human stuff. We have our own. We got our own lives. We don't got to be there for everything. But
yeah.
We do want to go to this pool party though.
And that's it. Now to get to the good stuff.
Hell yeah, this episode whips ass. We start immediately. Optimus and Megatron are
This
hunting...
is Decoy, by the way.
Yeah, Decoy. So the Decepticons have taken Agent Schloeder's fucking badge and are just running around with it.
Specifically, Ravage has it.
Kitty, give that back. You're not supposed to try that. Hey, drop it.
Yeah,
drop it.
It is. The three here are Ravage, Laserbeak, and Frenzy, who have a really interesting sibling relationship, it seems like.
So, these designs are very good. The Ravage one is pretty good. It's a Ravage.
It's a Ravage. It's a Ravage.
Laserbeak, I love how sharp his beak is. He really does look like a condor.
There is a wonderful part in this fight scene. Where Megatron grabs Laserbeak out of the sky, throws him into a tree, and he just gets stuck beak
Boing.
in the tree.
Yeah.
Like an arrow. Oh, it's so good. And then Frenzy, who has blue hair and pronouns.
Yeah, Frenzy is like a punk teen girl. By the way, do you know who voices Frenzy?
Who voices Frenzy?
Tiana Camacho, who is the English voice for Hermes in JoJo Part 6.
Oh,
also, her favorite Transformers character is Rat Trap. She's got
Rat Trap died in an unfortunate chest explosion, so
it's fine. And yeah, it's Optimus and Megatron. They're fighting the cassettes and losing. And we start to get a lot of the tension here in this fight scene.
No, we are going back and forth between this fight scene and more training with Bumblebee and Twitch and Thrash.
Yeah.
Which I just want to mention one line from Twitch here. So again, they're talking the name of the game is Decoy, right?
Uh-huh.
And Bumblebee's like, okay, y'all couldn't do stealth last time. Let's see if you can figure this shit out this time. And they're both trying to get each other out of cover. to trick each other from coming out of cover. And Thrash is doing very badly at it. And Twitch is like, oh, Thrash, quick, come here. Like, Robbie needs you to test his new speed ramp. And Thrash is immediately like, oh, hell yes. And Bubbles is like, you goddamn idiot.
You are bad at this.
And as soon as he's out, Twitch flies up in drone mode and hits him with an EMP and goes, easy EMPZ.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Then they start fighting. Then Thrash fucking sucker punches her. And it's like, I decoyed you. And no, you decoyed me. And then, they start doing that thing. And we just zoom into Bumblebee in the background. He just says,
I miss adults.
I miss adults. Oh, God, get me. He's like, I need a vacation. So this fight with the Cassetticons, I like the bit where Megatron just grabs Laserbeak by the foot.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, throughout this fight, Optimus is like, Megatron, will you please take this seriously and, like, hit them with your fucking fusion cannon? Like, Ravage is literally scrambling up and down, like, Megatron's back and shit. Frenzy's whacking Optimus in the leg.
Yeah.
Like, all this stuff, they're not doing any real damage. They're just being huge nuisances. But Optimus is like, will you please use lethal force on these literal children?
No, I don't want to. They're just pranks. They're just little pranksters.
And Megatron's like, what's wrong with you? No.
You fucking wake up on the wrong side of the bed or something, dude?
Yeah.
And then they get stun locked by the Tritone attack, which causes. So this is very funny. Optimus calls Mo on the cell phone because he can't use comms to directly call Bumblebee because he's currently getting stun locked by 3 babies.
And also, I think, like, isn't he's trying to avoid directly contacting Bumblebee because of ghost monitoring? This is a thing that comes up a lot in this episode, and
he
it's
does
actually
not,
at a pretty important point.
He does not want Ghost to know that Bumblebee is alive. He is determined to keep Bumblebee as his little ace in the hole. Because as we see here, Arcee, who shows up in a minute here, she's also a member of Ghost. We see she has the badge. Unlike Wheeljack, who's seemingly not a proper member of Ghost. Once again, it's interesting where the lines are delineated for which of these characters like signed up and which didn't.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with what we will see probably how the war ended. And
what Optimus is doing in the background, because he's keeping lots of secrets from
lots of people.
Yeah, some interesting stuff going on here. So Arcee just shows up because she wants to say hi to her idiot little brother Bumblebee, and puts him in a headlock and gives him a noogie. And also she's got kind of a southern accent a little bit, just a little bit of a twang.
Do you know, the song Bubblegum Bitch was written for her. We need to talk about her, like, design. God, it looks good.
She looks great.
She looks so good.
It's very much a take on the classic Arcee design, which is just a little bit, I like her shoulder pads. Her shoulder pads are very nice.
Her shoulder pads are, like, very notable because she is an old style Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like her headlights, so it's like the raised ridges on those, like, 50s, 60s Cadillacs. And ooh, God, she looks good. Let's go, Miss Liquor Lips.
Speaking of Stone Ocean, by the way, Arcee's Japanese voice is Faruzai, the voice.
Really?
The voice of Jolene.
I love Faruzai.
She's great. So so Bumblebee hears that there's real shit happening and that he can ditch the babies for a bit. So he's like, Arcee's your substitute teacher. Bye. And she goes, what? Okay. Y'all want to dig holes?
So hey, you've heard of Shia LaBeouf. You know what else he's been in?
Oh, who wants to dig some trenches? There's a lot of this. There's a lot of interesting stuff in this episode with regards to mixing a bunch of characterizations. We'll talk about it later with Soundwave because he has a lot of traits from several different incarnations of him. But our C2, Mo and Twitch, I
This-
think, mention that she's known for like her berserker rage.
Yeah, this one definitely felt the most IDW influenced, in my opinion,
She's like
of what we've seen so far.
She's like
This
a
episode,
fun,
I mean.
Yeah, she's like a fun, nice version of IDWRC. She's not quite as bloodthirsty.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, Earthspark tends to take characterizations from
Oh yeah,
various G1 properties in particular. Mostly the cartoon and the G1 comics.
yeah. It's a mix
The
of
IDW
it's a
G1
mix
comics.
of original G1 and then IDW1 comics, especially for characters like Megatron and to a certain extent Optimus.
And Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I think all of them do. Like, Bumblebee feels very mix of G1 and IDW1 to me.
So Bumblebee rolls up to the to the mission, and he has some restraining bolts.
He's there just in time to see Megatron being harassed by Laserbeak and saying, "Get back here, you deranged pigeon."
I really like that. Yeah. Not the Laser Megatron relationship we're used to, where he Laserbeak perches on his arm and is all cool.
It's like these are like his ex stepkids.
Yeah, like they're literally just Soundwave's little shits running around. And Bumblebee's Optimus is like, when I called for backup, I didn't want you specifically, man. You're not supposed to be here, remember? And Bumblebee's like, it's fine. Arcee's watching the kids. It's all good. Then hey, I brought some restraining bolts.
Yeah, and it's that like Optimus is like, fine, because you brought weapons of the carceral state, I'll allow you to stay this time.
Yeah, and Megatron is not happy to see these. And after they restrain Ravage and Frenzy, who I think Frenzy at one point calls Megatron an Autobot sympathizer, or maybe that's a little later. But yeah, Optimus kind of gets up or Megatron gets up in Optimus's face like, I fucking hate these things.
She does call him it for the first time here.
Yeah. Most
of the ones that come later is from Soundwave.
That's true. Yeah, Soundwave. Ooh, he's got some things to say.
Soundwave has opinions. So she tries to run away first, and Bumblebee gets her in the back as she's going away, and it turns her into a cassette. Ravage similarly runs away, and Optimus pitches it.
Yeah, both of these guys have pretty good pitching arms.
Yeah, and then Megatron's just holding Laserbeak.
Yeah.
He caught him, and Optimus is like, "Okay, are you gonna cassette him?" And Megatron's like,
No.
"No."
I don't like that Ghost has so much control over where we put the Decepticons we capture and what forms they're in. I don't like that shit.
That's not freedom.
Yeah, that's not freedom.
And my favorite part here is that Optimus is like, it's a means to an end. Literally, he says it's a means to an end. And Megatron's response is like, don't give me that means to an end bullshit, you useless neolib. Like,
yeah.
What?
And Bumblebee's like, hey, I'm here. You having fun, right? Team, help.
Eventually Optimus does stick the restraining device on Laserbeak as well, and throws him in the back of the truck of his cargo.
Yeah.
And
Which, by the way, I like that the Cassetticons are still cassettes, even though one, Soundwave is not a cassette deck in the show.
Well,
and
he could
two,
be a triple changer.
They don't. They're just gigantic cassettes. They're like person-sized cassettes in alternate mode. I love it.
Yes, that is very funny. But I mean, that's what they are in G1.
No, yeah, that's true.
I mean, they can display again. There's subspace and mass displacement, but
we very rarely see them in cassette mode outside of Soundwave's chest, though. Tape deck mode.
But we do know how big Soundwave's chest is, and we do, you know what I mean.
I just think it looks very goofy, and I like it.
It is goofy. Also, we don't know that Soundwave doesn't also turn into a tape deck.
I guess that's true. I mean, we know that he used to, I guess.
Yeah.
but now he has a cool stealth bomber mode.
Yeah, maybe he's multi-dimensional. You don't know.
Meanwhile, RC is having the kids dig holes. And then Twitch is like, all right, I finished digging my hole. Would you like to inspect it? And she goes over and is like, yep, that's a hole. Now fill it back up.
This goes on for like a while.
Well, actually, it's here where it's after she says, all right, fill it back up now, where they're like, hey, no. This is
oh,
not,
is it
this
there?
is
No,
not,
no. No. Because there's a small montage first of her asking them to do other stuff, like
Oh, yeah.
piling the hay and other stuff. So she's asking them to do these inane tasks over and over and over.
Just random shit.
And eventually Mo's like, no.
It's like, hey, you're just making shit up for us to do. Like, you're not actually training us. And RC's like, yeah, finally you get it. Holy shit, I was waiting for you guys to call me out on it.
Never trust authority. Rise up against your oppressors.
She's like, this world will take advantage of you if you let it. You got it. If something feels fucked up, you got to speak up about it. Now watch me do this overhead.
I love her so much.
Yeah, our Earthspark Arcee, for the little time that I've had her, she's way up there in the ranks. She's fucking great.
I have a small question. So back with the most divorced men in the universe, apparently.
A very frosty drive home.
and Bumblebee, they're approaching a ghost checkpoint. First of all, I would love to know how Optimus driving on the left side of the road here is subtle.
It's fine.
Is subtle and stealthy while being followed by the attack helicopter.
Yeah, I mean, the tilt rotor is the bigger problem here.
And the sports car.
Yeah.
But, all of this is, very fun. I'm like, this is not a subtle group. But,
No.
they're just driving on both sides of this road.
There's a really good bit where, Optimus and Megatron are not talking. They're mad. And Bumblebee is just trying to fill the space with conversation. He's rattling off something stupid Thrash did the other day.
The best part of this is, at the Optimus eventually cuts him off. It's like, okay, Bumblebee, we should part ways now. And
earlier, I really like Megatron just going ugh, and
floating
further away from Bumblebee.
Yeah, every time Bumblebee says something, you're just a long almost pained.
Yeah, he's like
groan from Megatron.
This fucking guy.
It's causing him physical harm. At the end of it, Optimus is like, all right, Bumblebee, time for you to go. Because there's a ghost checkpoint coming up and you really can't be there. And Megatron's like, And Optimus is like, you want to say something?
And
and
he's just funny.
He's like, oh,
I just think it's funny how.
Just interesting how, you don't trust Ghost with the knowledge of your scout, but somehow think that the Decepticons should be locked up God knows where, for God knows how long in whatever form. I just think that's funny how you don't think for yourself and you only care about protecting the people that you personally are close to.
And Bumblebee goes, I don't think he thinks that's very funny at all, actually. I think he was lying. And then Soundwave fucking wrecks their shit, because guess what? He was hiding in the tunnel waiting for the signal.
Yeah, it's a good moment because Optimus... So they get to this tunnel, and Optimus and B obviously have to fly through it, and Megatron obviously has to fly over it, because you can't fly through a tunnel. So Megatron is separated from them, and Soundwave is like, hey, fuck those devices. I got sound waves.
Yep. He can turn that shit off, which seems like a very useful ability when you're fighting against Ghost. Also, briefly, the caption of that scene where RC tells him, hey, don't trust authority, is Robbie mentions that the reason she's subbing as their teacher is that Bumblebee went off on a mission, and RC goes, what the fuck? We gotta go over there. I didn't know that. That little shit. I want to be on that mission. Field trip time. Let's go. I am playing her twang is much subtler than that. I just love.
Yes, it is.
I just love that she's got that. I think it's a very characterful thing.
Yeah, no, I this is probably my favorite interpretation of RC.
Just like a rowdy dipshit lady who loves to fight.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And hates authority.
Yeah. So the Soundwave ambushes them, releases the cassettes. And can we talk about how good this Soundwave design is real quick?
Yes. Oh, snatched waist.
Fucking phenomenal design. He's so angular. I love how triangle this boy is. The all blue face with like the red visor. Very good.
And the way that translates to the stealth bomber mode.
Yeah. Excellent. And yeah, so he walks out of this tunnel with all his boys. And you know, he gets into a little, I love this little standoff with Soundwave, and Megatron goes, "Do not make this personal, Soundwave." And Soundwave just goes, "It already is."
And my note there is all caps, many exclamation points. Yes! Yes! Yes!
So,
the drama of ex-lovers!
Yeah, so this is another thing. This is very similar to IDW Soundwave after Megatron joins the Autobots in that. It's a very similar truth feeling. That's why he falls in with Galvatron's bullshit.
Yeah, this is also possibly worse than in IDW for Soundwave, because at least in IDW, even though he doesn't agree, like, fundamentally doesn't agree with it, he knows that it's something that Megatron doesn't believe in either.
Right.
That Megatron is...
It was a ploy.
Yeah, is trying to get out of being executed. Not that he thinks that's a good enough excuse, but, like, you know, at least, you know, like, there's part of him ideologically that knows that Megatron hasn't betrayed everything they believe in. This sucks, dude.
Yeah, this one, he's literally hanging out with Optimus. He's wearing the Ghost badge. Soundwave is pretty pissed. And yeah, another past Soundwave incarnation that he has characteristics of, he does the echo thing that Prime Soundwave does all the time. Because he plays Megatron going, "That's not freedom," back at him, and Megatron gets really nice, like, "Don't use my own words against me, damn it."
Yeah, that's in a bit. So, like, they're on the side of the road, and it's on the mountain, so there's, like, a quarry right beneath them. And they are, like, immediately... Soundwave doesn't give a shit about Optimus. He could not care less. He just, like, gets his kids...
He sticks the children on him. He's like, "Deal with him, please."
No, not at first. At first, he doesn't even acknowledge Optimus. He's just like, attack Megatron.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's like, and they just, all four of them go and attack Megatron. And Optimus is like, "Hello? Hi."
Yeah, so I want to talk about Soundwave's fighting style, because I think it's a very cool interpretation of his character. He uses sound waves, right? But he casts it like magic. He manipulates it with his hand, and he can cause like earthquakes and stuff, but it's all vibrations, and it's a very cool looking way for him to fight. Excellent stuff. Arcee and the Terrans arrive just in time to save the boys from getting their asses beat by Soundwave and Cat, a bird, and a shitty teenager.
Yo, Ma, there's a fucked up cat in the backyard. What a delight for Twitch and Thrash to actually have someone their own size to fight.
Yeah, this is the perfect matchup for them, because you're not they can't pull a gun on you like Swindle can. They're not huge. There is a shot that I found really funny, which is after Bumblebee initially shows up and they throw the cassettes into the trailer, and he's Megatron and Optimus are arguing. And he says something, and they both look down at him, and they're looming above him. And it's like, "Oh, you're still the baby here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like you."
I will say, like, I actually think of all the shows we've watched, Earthspark does the best of remembering consistent scale for these characters.
Yeah, Megatron is fuck huge. He's gigantic.
Fuck huge, and like you get the sense of like Twitch and Thrash constantly being much larger than Mo and Robbie, but also
Yeah.
being the smallest compared to even Bumblebee, and then like how small Bumblebee is the other one. So it's very nicely consistent that way, I would say.
Twitch is like 1.5 Robbies tall. Thrash is like 2.5 Robbies tall. And then you get Bumblebee, and then you get Optimus and Megatron.
So at some point
they're
here,
fighting in the quarry.
yeah, at some point here, like Bumblebee gets thrown down first and pinned beneath a rock. Arcee comes down, sees this, comes down to save him, and crushes this rock by heel kicking it. By drop kicking it.
Rocks can't block this damn overhead. Check this out. Fuck that rock.
Which is amazing. And then Bumpy's like, "Where are the kids?" And Arcee's like, "Oh, don't worry, they're still back up there." Like, he's like, "You left them by themselves with like Decepticons?" And she's like, "Optimus and Megatron are there. It's fine." And then immediately,
and Bumblebee
two
just
of them
runs.
Yeah, Bumblebee's like, "Oh God," and then like just runs up. It's
Yeah.
like these Megatron and Optimus are not getting approved for foster parenting.
No, definitely not.
There are, very quickly before we get into this fight, into these two fights that develop here, there are two lines that are different spoken. I don't know, do you watch with subtitles by any chance?
No, the legal website that I view these on does not have subtitles.
Really? Okay, so mine does. And I'm pretty sure they're like the official subtitles, but very interestingly, there are two lines in this episode that have different spoken dialogue than the subtitles. And it's pretty subtle differences. Like it doesn't, lexically, it doesn't make a ton of difference, but one of them is here. So back on top of the road, it's the 4 children, versus the 3 Cassetticons. And the Cassetticons are doing their tritone attack. And it is hurting big time. Until Mo realizes when they were training with Bumblebee earlier, one of the other things that made Bumblebee long for adults is that they
made up a decoy song.
Yeah, they made up a theme song basically about the lyrics of which are, "You make your enemy look away, and then bing bam boom ruin their day."
Yeah, and Megatron at one point is humming, and he's like, "God damn it, that theme song is catchy. Fuck."
Yeah, because Bumblebee can't stop humming it afterwards.
Yep.
So to counter this tritone attack, Mo starts singing the song again, and the rest of them figure out that they can counter it as well by singing it. And eventually Frenzy breaks off and goes, what she actually says is, "Okay, that's catchy." But what the subtitles say is, "Okay, see, that's a bop."
Wow. That's way better. They should have done. I don't know why they didn't go with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not true. Maybe it's to salvage any cred Frenzy might have.
Yeah, okay, that's a bop.
Not a bop. It does not whip, slap, or smash. Frenzy, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And that's basically it for that fight up there.
Yeah, Bumblebee comes up and slams Ravage against a tree.
Yeah.
And he wipes the floor with the Cassetticons pretty quickly. Down in the quarry, it's Soundwave versus the Autobots and Megatron.
And he is getting really personal. Mr.
Yeah.
Don't make it personal. Oh, it's way too late for that, Megatron. This is the most personal it's ever been.
Yeah, there's some real bad blood between these two.
Traitor scum.
Yeah, just traitor scum. The voice for Soundwave, similarly to a lot of things, is like, it's not just the G1 voice. Like, it has the same flat intonation and kind of what do you call it, modulation, but it's not as heavy. The voice is not as heavily modulated, and it's not as like growly as the actual Soundwave G1 voices. If you want, because if you don't know, if any of our listeners don't know, The Soundwave G1 voice is just Frank Welker doing his Dr. Claw voice from Inspector Gadget.
Yes, 100%.
And they heavily modulate
With a reverb on it.
Yeah, if you want to hear it without the reverb, the lines he has in Revenge of the Fallen are just him without the reverb. So that's just what it sounded like before they auto-tuned him.
He, by the way, is played by Sean Kanan Elias Reyes.
Mm-hmm.
That we didn't mention, who hasn't done a ton of notable stuff. This is also the only Transformers role he's had. But
he's in a lot of like bit voice acting work.
Yeah,
he's
a
in
bit.
Few dubs
Probably, my guess is he's probably best known for Wallace and Pokemon.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, at least, I would guess that you probably would know him best as Wallace in Pokemon. He's also Professor Rowan.
And like every working actor in America, he's in at least one episode of A Law and Order.
Great. But yeah, no, I like his Soundwave a lot.
It's great. Unfortunately, he loses.
Yeah.
Badly. Although, as we learn later, all according to Keikaku. I think.
Yeah, he's
anyway.
like... It's really interesting because he loses and then doesn't say anything.
Yep. And they have him cuffed, and once again, Megatron's like, take this shit off. Take the fucking restraining bolts off the Cassetticons, because they wrap them all up. They stack him in the trailer where Robbie has the line, I don't even know what a cassette is.
Yeah. He's like, this is a war crime. Sorry, this is a war crime.
Yeah,
you are doing torture to these children.
Like, they're literally babies, Optimus, and Optimus is like, okay, if you vouch for him, well, I'll let him go.
Oh, that's the other. Sorry, I did want to mention the other line that switches between the audio, what's actually spoken, and what the subtitles say, which is at the end of the fight with Soundwave, he's lying there, and Arcee says to him, "Yep, you're done," and just like knocks him out. I think she's the one who actually like gives the finishing blow there, right?
Yeah, she is. She hits him with the overhead.
Yeah, and then so in what she says is, "Yep, you're done." What the subtitle is, "No encore tonight."
Damn. She does call him Analog Boy.
Yeah.
He's cuffed. Nothing to say to that Analog Boy. Pretty
Give
good.
it back, Bike Boy.
Yeah. And so they let the Cassetticons go, and Megatron's like, listen, what you get one. Don't fuck up again. Just go.
Yeah, he's like, you don't get another second choice, and then he apologizes to Optimus for being correct. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I guess it's because Optimus like backed him up, had his back in that fight.
Yeah.
He told Megatron like, Megatron, or he told Soundwave Megatron's has done more to protect our people than you ever could.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's true. I'm not sure that's true. I don't know that.
I don't know what Soundwave's been up to. And yeah, I don't think.
And also, I don't know that Ghost is doing a lot to protect Cybertronians.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. It doesn't seem good though.
No.
And Optimus, for whatever he says, doesn't seem to think so either, because he's not telling them about Bumblebee.
Yeah.
You're playing too many games, Prime Boy.
Yeah, so like Megatron's like, I'm sorry I said that, and Optimus is like, yeah, no, I needed to hear it. I'm not going to change anything though. It's like, what the fuck?
This really is IDW1 Optimus.
Yeah. The most neoliberal Optimus on God's green earth.
And then at the end he realized like, oh fuck, being neoliberal sucks. I'm going to jump into this black hole and hug a man. And that's it. Yeah. Oh well. Actually, there's a very important thing. There's a little teaser at the end. So number one, I guess Arcee. There's a bit where Arcee's like, all right, time to get back to training the kids. I'll teach you all how to do the drop kicks and wheel kicks and all that stuff. And Bumblebee's like, actually, you're just a substitute, and I'll take it back over from here. And she just goes, well, they like me more.
And eventually she's like, congratulations, you also pass.
Yeah, you passed the test. Arcee loves to fuck with people.
Yeah. And and that seems all resolved, except that Optimus, before anything goes, it's like, well, obviously I'm not going to report, I'm not going to do anything official because you're supposed to be dead, Bumblebee. But because you did break cover, you need to submit a full report to Teletran 1 on this incident today. And Arcee just goes, oh damn, not even I give homework.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. So Soundwave gets put in the clink by Arcee and Elita 1. Except
Who I thought was
is...
Cliffjumper for a brief second.
We ain't got no damn Cliffjumper in this show.
I
That
know.
dude's... Knowing Cliffjumper, he's probably dead.
He's probably cut in half.
Yeah. But this is exactly where Soundwave wanted to be, because there's a little scene where we see the Decepticons, they're in the forest, and Ravage is turning back. I thought this was really interesting.
This was so cool, the way that they communicate, the three of them.
Yeah, so Ravage turns back, and Frenzy goes, no, look, it's like, we're free now. You don't have to follow him. And Ravage
And Laserbeak squawks at her.
Yeah. And Ravage ignores them and goes.
Ravage growls. Ravage says something that she
Yes.
clearly understands, that they both clearly understand, but the viewer obviously can't because it's a cat growling.
Ravage, as always, the most loyal of Soundwave's cassettes. Because...
Or Laserbeak. They switch.
Yeah, they do. I feel like, Ravage across continuities has a higher loyalty quotient. They're pretty close, though.
Yeah. I think that across continuities, Ravage is displayed as being more sentient.
Yeah.
Which, it's hard to be not loyal.
And once he's in the cell, he destabilizes the screen and deploys Ravage to do some recon. And who's that in the cell across from him there?
There he is, the biggest
Why,
dish in the universe.
That's Starscream. And who is that voicing him? Oh my goodness, it's Steve Bloom.
Yeah, it is very much Steve Bloom doing Steve Bloom Starscream.
He's fucking back.
Hey, why fix what ain't broke, right?
That's right. And so Starscream is in the mix. He's in jail right now, but he's in there.
I am fascinated, and I think this is true at the concept of Soundwave and Starscream working together to take down Megatron.
Yeah, that's a sort of
fascinating dynamic.
That's a sort of hell froze over situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like something really weird happened.
The closest I would say we ever got to it outside of that is probably Prime at the beginning.
Yeah. Although that one wasn't so much taking down as like Starscream was trying to keep him was trying to keep him in stasis and keep Soundwave in the dark about how he was totally still alive.
Yeah.
But Soundwave
again, like I said,
fully, fully down with that as long as Megatron was actually dead.
Right.
But as soon, of course, as he sees a single spark line, he turns into the fucking Ghost of Christmas Future.
Right.
I love Prime Soundwave. He's still probably my favorite Soundwave. This guy's got some time, though. He might grow on me.
I have to say, like, the Earthspark versions of these characters are quickly becoming, like, many of my favorites across continuities.
This is definitely my favorite Bumblebee and my favorite animated RC, like, for sure.
Yeah. It's... What it feels like, no one feels like a throwaway in Earthspark.
No.
Like, everyone feels like a fully developed character, even if they're only there for one episode. Like, I feel like I know who Wheeljack is. I feel like I know who this RC is.
Yeah, they don't have to show up again, and I'm perfectly happy with them being here and what they do, right? Like, even if they don't have another appearance.
But they come off as characters where the writers have thought about who they are outside of the moments that they're in this show. And that is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Earthspark, the writing on Earthspark is really, really probably some of the best I've seen across the board.
All right, let's get into the questions here. Would you like to take none on Twitter? So would you like to take us through the Discord?
Sure would. Give me one moment. Okay. Oh, what a nice normal amount of questions. Thank God. From Sidewinder Sabrina, we have, who Who's a good boy / girl? Well,
Ravage.
yes, and also we both have cats, so
Yeah.
Leon
I
and
don't know,
Fig.
My cat's a little shit sometimes, though.
Oh, so's mine. He's a good boy.
That's true. He is a good boy.
Sabrina also asks, what do you think genre of music is each character's fave?
Okay, so let's stick to the multi-episode regular cast if you want. I mean, I guess there's not that many characters in the show yet.
No, let's just stick to the regular cast, though. It's enough for these
all right.
questions.
What do the Terrans know what music is yet?
Thrash obviously is thrash metal.
See, I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
he doesn't. He doesn't actually like it, but he develops a taste for it because it has his name in it.
Yeah, he forces himself to like.
Yeah,
it. Like,
exactly.
I probably should like this. It's named after me. Twitch strikes me as like a dream pop synthwave kind of girl.
I was gonna say like EDM by trans girls.
Yeah. Megatron is like heavy metal 70s and 80s shit, right? Like Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, all that stuff.
Optimus is the daddiest of dad rocks.
Oh man, there's so much Journey, so much Eagles. Oh boy. His mixtape is a disaster.
And then Bumblebee.
I think Bumblebee listens to drum and bass. He likes a fat juicy drop, you know.
Yeah, I can see that.
I guess should we do the kids too?
I think Bumblebee also likes rap.
Yes, I think he's we know he's spent a lot of time across the world.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
doing
he
the
also
street
is
racing
into
in the
like
Philippines.
hip hop and R&B and that.
Yeah. When he's chilling. He listens to the drum and bass when he's like tearing up the fucking streets, right? Like when he's like in
That's actually the music we're hearing in the background. It's diegetic.
Oh, there was, by the way, speaking of the music, there was some really good music for this.
There was. Scene. Yeah.
Ooh, the music in the show continues to be very good.
And actually a notably really good track in the last episode when Twitch and Thrash were dying, but not really.
Yes. They were just sleeping. They went to a farm upstate.
Okay. Pipe, cast pipes.
Oh, wait, we forgot Alita. Alita is a regular character.
Okay, fine, fair enough. I think Alita likes opera. Something about it just makes me think like classic music.
She's like cultured.
Yeah.
She's sitting in her quarters listening to freeform jazz.
I have like this image in my mind of her doing that classic bit of a fighter listening to like opera while taking people down. Yep.
That fits for me.
All right. Pipe cast pipes asks when this episode first came out, I saw a Frenzy fan cam set to Marina into Diamonds, girls with the lyrics girls with the lyrics look like a girl, but I think like a guy, not ladylike to behave like a slime, easy to be sleazy when you've got a filthy mind, you stick to your yogurts, I'll stick to my apple pie. And I can't find it anymore.
No! That sounds so good.
Assigned modern pop songs to Ravage and Laserbeak.
Fuck, okay. Once again, you asked me to do something and I forget all music. I don't know what music is. I've never heard of music before in my life. What the fuck is music? How dare you ask me this? Hang on, let me open up. We gotta get some Carly in here somewhere, right? Which one of them is a Carly Rae Jepsen song? For some reason, Ravage seems like a Billie Eilish song. I don't know enough about her discography to say which one though.
All right, look, yeah. Let me see what I'm going through the CRJ library, trying to think. You know what? Laserbeak could be cut to the feeling.
Oh, yeah. Cut to the feeling of my beak buried in this tree.
Yes, my beak is cutting to the feeling of your bones.
Yeah.
Through several layers of skin and muscle.
Yep. Ugh, that beak looks real sharp.
Ravage.
Something sneaky. Something duplicitous. Something multi-layered. Something dark.
Paparazzi.
Oh, fuck. Yes.
Lady Gaga's Paparazzi.
We did it.
And then also, thoughts on the Rumble fan design that looks like this. Somehow we have to, like, post this.
I'll put it in the show notes. It's a very good design.
From at Sanita Sama on Twitter. Earthspark Rumble exists in my heart because I'm delusional. She's beautiful and I love her.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great design. I like the drumsticks.
Sabrina asks again, what is your first school memory? Do we count preschool?
Yeah, it's got school in the name.
Yeah, okay. So when I was 4 in preschool, I really distinctly remember one of the projects we did, which was we made plasters of our thumbs. I can't remember the point. I think the point was to like show off first of all, to like just create something that like a memento for parents, right? Where it's like, here's your 4-year-old's hand forever. Isn't that cute? But maybe it was also like to show off like fingerprints because they were like really focused on the words. Anyway, it was a very like, I have a lot of sense memory around it about putting my hand into the plaster and actually like having it dry on there. So that made a very strong impression on me. Clearly, since I was only 4 years old.
First thing I remember is playing Kid Pix on an old Macintosh in like the lobby area of my Montessori school.
Cool.
I love Kid Pix.
And
I think
then
all art should be done in Kid Pix. Throw away your Clip Studio paints and all of that shit.
What about MS Paint?
No, the fucking tools of the devil. It needs to be Kid Pix.
And then Sabrina also asked, what about silly school stories? I don't know how silly this is. I think it's super cool, actually. So I'm about to say a sentence that sounds ridiculous on the surface, but my dad is a physicist.
Okay. That's not ridiculous. Where's the ridiculous part?
I mean, what does a physicist even fucking do? Right?
Physics.
Like, yeah, I guess.
They play ball and cup all day. I don't know. That's physics.
He's retired now, but he worked for a computer company. And that does both hardware and software and like a whole host of stuff. They both like personal computers, government contracts. They work in bioengineering. It's a really major company. And when I was in elementary school, and my sister and I were in elementary school, once a year, he would like grab things from his office and come into our classes and like Bill Nye shit up for us. And like we would get to be his assistants. So he brought like I can remember a few of the things he did. So like he brought like a thing of liquid nitrogen.
Ooh, that's always fun.
Yeah, so he brought like a thing of liquid nitrogen and he would dip flowers into it and then shatter them on the floor.
That's pretty baller. That's like that. Kids love that shit.
Yeah, I
also love that shit.
He would bring a bottle and a hard-boiled egg and put like the fire in the bottom of the bottle. Have you ever seen this? And then watch as the hard-boiled egg, as the flame continue to go and eventually come out, the hard-boiled egg gets sucked into the bottle. Have you seen that ever?
No, I have not. I did not see that particular physics.
So the idea behind it is that the fire is burning all the oxygen in there that's being sealed off by the egg, and it's creating a vacuum eventually once the oxygen has burned and the vacuum sucks.
The egg gets slurped in there.
Yeah, it's really cool. So there was that. There's so he would just like do a bunch of stuff like that. He did the Pepsi and Mentos thing. But like, did Coke put out a cease and desist? Why is it Pepsi and Mentos? I don't know. It's the cola and Mentos. Who gives a shit? So he would just like spend a day doing that, and we got to be like his assistants for the day. It was like super cool, actually.
I have been sitting here trying to think of a whimsical memory from school, and the closest thing I can come up with is that when I was in we had like a media, like a computer and media and stuff sort of sub school at my high school.
Mm-hmm.
And why I was in a graphic design course where the teacher was fucking terrible and didn't do anything. So my friends and I just played Minecraft for that whole year.
God.
I tried to go through down memory lane. I just kept running into memory blocks for whatever reason. I just couldn't unlock those memories.
You truly do forget everything you've ever experienced the moment we go to questions. It's quite remarkable.
Well, so I was like, you shouldn't. Let me think back to middle school. It's like, no, you shouldn't do that. My brain went into
yeah, we're looking for silly stories, not the most depressing stories you've ever heard in your life.
God. It's no good. It's no good out there, folks. You gotta, but Minecraft is forever.
The other silly story I will say is that before I started smoking myself, definitely the most time I was in the room with any, the time that I was in a room with the most amount of weed throughout my pre-college school career was definitely health class, which was very funny.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, never mind. I just remembered a way funnier one.
It turns out there's no AP health, so all the stoners were in the health class with me. Sorry.
Towards the end of the year, my health teacher was like, all right, I'm bored with this shit. And we just watched the Boondock Saints.
That's something, all right.
It teaches you a lot about... well, anyway, I'm sure it taught me something.
I won a poetry contest when I was 12 through middle school, and I got a free membership to the Bronx Zoo for a year from it.
Oh, honestly, that's a pretty good prize.
And I got to read my poem there. It was a Bronx Zoo contest. So
did you get to read it to like the gorillas or the elephants?
No, I got to read it to a bunch of other bored parents who were also there with their children.
You got to read it to like the otters or something like it. Just enrich the animals.
But still pretty cool. Okay. From Mimas the Gay Daphnis, how many of Megatron's evil exes will Optimus and Lita have to fight to maintain him as their boy toy? At least 2.
One more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they already fought Soundwave, but we know that boy is not staying in that cage forever. He's coming out.
Yeah, at least 2. It's really funny because I started Scott Pilgrim today.
Mm-hmm. The new anime. I gotta get around to watching that.
What?
I said I gotta get around to watching that.
It's really good, I have to say.
I have heard.
Yeah, at least 2. And also from Daphnis, if you could teach a class on anything, what would it be, and what would the required readings be?
Fighting games, and the required reading is Sajam's entire channel. Just watch it. That's it. Fighting Games 101. Here's how you do a double quarter circle.
I would probably actually teach like a course on like fandom in general. And
what's the required reading?
There's a bunch of like both original sources and stuff that's been written about it, of like the early days of like the Star Trek fandom and how like, 60s housewives kind of created that. That would certainly be part of it. I would want to talk about Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey, and talk about the sort of legitimization, whether for better or for worse, of fan fiction as original fiction afterwards. Stuff like that.
I would teach them how to do a dragon punch, a cross-cut dragon punch, a double dragon punch. I would teach them how to do footsies and what footsies actually means and what neutral is, and that skipping neutral isn't actually a bad thing because everything is secretly neutral. And Akuma can come in as a guest lecturer and do the Raging Demon on all of my students.
Great.
Casually Masatsu child.
Nero from Disney Minus asks, if the Transformers were all in high school, who would be in what clique?
Okay, this one's pretty easy. Alita is a jock.
They're all jocks.
Yeah, but they're all
except for
jock
Megatron.
Hybrids. So no, I think Megatron is a goth jock. Optimus is a theater jock. I think Alita is pure jock, though. I don't think Alita has a subtype.
Alita and Arcee are in the fucking yellow jackets.
Yeah. Bumblebee is... what is Bumblebee? Maybe he's also pure... No, I think he is pure jock. They're all various subspecies of jocks. This is a very jock-esque show. I mean, I guess there's also some of the Decepticons. All of the Decepticons are theater kids and goths.
I haven't
one,
seen
I
enough
don't
of this
know.
Starscream to see exactly what brand of insane,
Yeah,
melodramatic
we have
asshole
to see
he
how,
is in this
yeah, we
one.
have to see how cracked he is.
Yeah.
On a scale of like Armada to Prime, how fucking cracked is he?
From Armada to Cyberverse.
No, that's true. Cyberverse is the most heightened one.
Actually, G1. If we're just
Yeah,
talking about, well, either G1 or Cyberverse.
they're up there.
Yeah. In this high school AU, who would be the main cast of a Scream movie? Who would die? Who would be the survivor girl? And who would be the killers?
Hardtop and Swindle are Ghostface. They're somehow doing it for a real estate scam. I don't know how, but they are.
I guess, okay, so let's just choose final girl then, because everyone
Yes.
else would die.
RC.
Probably.
Hey, Ghostface, block this overhead.
Bumblebee would be the one who's like genre savvy and still dies.
Yes. Absolutely.
Soundwave's Big Naturals asks, does Soundwave listen to dad rock, TM, and what other genres does he listen to?
No, not this Soundwave.
Not
This
this one.
Soundwave listens to... God,
This
what
is a
is it?
harsh noise listener.
Yeah, he listens to harsh noise. He listens to ambient. He listens to dark ambient.
This one doesn't listen to music. This one listens to noises.
Yes. This motherfucker listens to Metal Machine music.
And finally, from Ruby Road Rage Ruby, what are some characters from any series that seemed cishet before but turned out to be very gender?
I'm assuming just Transformers.
From any series, yeah.
Any?
Well,
any
let's just do
series.
let's just do Transformers.
Half
mean-
the cast of IDW won.
I mean Ratchet for sure.
Ratchet, Cyclonus.
Yeah, and Whirl for that matter. Fuck.
Oh man, I mean to be fair, Whirl had less fictional representation than Cyclonus because they legally could not use him in the original show because they got that shit from some fucking
from Takara or
weird-
whatever. Yeah.
It wasn't Bandai either. It was like a different toy line.
A new third secret thing.
Yeah, so it was like we can't use these. Yeah, no, Cyclonus and Whirl are my answers.
I
I
mean, I guess,
a
like-
pretty good example of it.
I mean-
Acid Cyberverse Acid Storm.
Yeah. Gender fluid. All right, that's it for us from this week. We've been Prime Cuts. You can follow us on Twitter at PrimeCutsPod. You can listen to us and a bunch of other really good shows on Noisepace at noisepace.xyz. You can join our Discord, the link is in the description of this episode, and also on our Twitter. Ask us questions there or here. We will probably make socials somewhere else at some point because, sinking ship. Am I right, folks? I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, co-host, and Blue Sky, Optimum on Prime. That's my funny robot internet joke. You can also listen to the other podcast I do, also on Noisepace, called Pot of Greed. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! We're in the middle of 5Ds. I've also been cast in a radio drama that I should have more information about very soon. And that's basically it for me.
Nero, you can find me on Twitter, Dragon Smoocher, co-host Dragon Snuggler, Tumblr, Cyclonus with a 5 at the end of it. Ready for Heidelin, my Final Fantasy XIV show, and also stream every Wednesday with my pal Jane. That is heidelinradio.tumblr.com. I've also got Talk Cycles every month, which is an animation podcast to do with Jane. That's talkcycles.tumblr.com. I haven't checked the poll recently, but currently dead heat between Teen Titans Season 3 and Craig of the Creek Season 1. But I'll probably know who wins by the time this episode actually comes out. That's it for me.
All right, well, until next time, I'm going to rise up against my oppressors, transform and roll out.
I'm going to block this overhead, transform and roll out.
Peach.